2016, and we've just added some upgrades and additions in response to the users' emails, and also things that we've noticed since we first created the software back in 2000, well, last year, 28th of October last year. Okay, let's just run through the additions, and then I'll show you on the software exactly how it affects the software. So what we've added is we can just deselect leagues now. So if you don't want to bet on the Greek football or the Russian football, you can deselect these leagues and they will stay deselected, so when the auto reload starts these leagues don't come up. So you may have seen in your research that certain leagues don't perform very well. Another one that we've had feedback on, and Steve suggested that we do the Mexican wave option. This is where when you have the tab selected, the betting sequence goes right through the tabs to 10 or 5, how many ever you select, and then goes back to 1, rather than just reverting back to 1 as soon as 1 becomes available. So you've got the choice of keeping it as we released it or using the Mexican wave option. Occasionally some people will turn their softwares off, or they'll have a break in communication with Betfair when the results are coming through, and this led to bets and that are sitting in current, tying up a tab even though they've been settled. So we've made an option here now where you can take those bets after the game's been finished out of current bets, and that will free up the tab. All results now are saved after the bot's been turned off, so you don't have to worry about saving them. The bets are automatically saved. Next is the consolidated profit and loss. You'll see this now right on the status page on page 1, so at any time you can see what you're backing and what you're laying is profit wise. We've also added in correct score options now, so if you want to bet the correct score option you can do that. Favourites have been added to both teams to score, so you can use the favourite, and also a home favourite has been added to matched odds. Some people want home favourite only, so that's been an option added to matched odds. Favourite option has also been added to unders and overs, so under 2.5 you can just back the favourite if you wish. Also we've got a tab to show the market options. I'll explain that a little bit more. When you bring up a match, you'll see that the API rating does jump up. We've got an option now where you can turn off that, so if you don't want to see the market option you don't have to, and also that has no bearing whether you can see it or not, whether the bot accepts that bet. Okay, something else we've added in the Excel download when you save will be a column there with the liability. So if you're doing research in that, you can see that maybe some games are losing consistently that have a low liability available, so you may want to increase your liability before a match becomes eligible to bet, so that's been added to it. Also for our Danish customers, due to your country's not restrictions but legislation, that we've now fixed that issue, so Danish clients can now use the bot, and I'll just show you briefly where that option is. Okay, so let's have a look at the software now. The appearance of the software hasn't changed a lot to incorporate these additions. If you're looking at this video and have not previously seen the Auto Profit Soccer bot, I suggest you go back and have a look so it makes sense to you. Okay, the first thing we need to do now is look at deselect leagues. So we can go into country leagues now, and we can delete the leagues that we don't want to bet on. So if we don't want to bet on Egyptian soccer, we just unselect that, unselect Greek, whatever you want to. Now this will come up, this is only coming up for these ones here because these are the only games that are present to be bet on as the bot's open. So probably on a Saturday or something when you've got 12 hours of solid football, you can go through and deselect the leagues that you don't want to bet on permanently. You can always re-enter them again if you want to, but the option here now is to do that. Okay, now matched odds. Once you used to deselect one, and when it did an auto reload it came back on. Now that won't happen. When you deselect certain games, the auto reload will not include them again for that. Other thing that we're now brought in now is the Mexican wave. So if we click that, if we tick that, that'll mean it'll place bets right through the sequence until it gets to 10 and then reverts back to the first available one again, rather than always going back to 1 if it's available. So that's the Mexican wave option there. Now what else is there? So much to go through. Okay, the software manual, if you click on that, you'll see that the new additions and how to implement them is in there. Okay, so you can click on that, and that's constantly being updated. Okay, if we just move the software over, in matched odds, you'll notice when you go through these first off that when you're setting up the bot for the first time with new settings, it is slow loading, and this is because we don't download big groups of data from Betfair once the bot's open. We only go and access the information we need as it's being required by the users, and this keeps down the API requests. So if we go into markets to bet, you'll see the new one there is correct score. Okay, so if you load on correct score, you'll see what I mean. It's just taking a little while now to get all the selections. Okay, so you've got all these options now that you can bet on now, which weren't available in the previous version. Okay, go back to matched odds. In the matched odds, we've added, just waiting for it to kick in, we've added the home favourite now. That wasn't there before. And if we go to both teams to score, just waiting for it to update, then you will see we've added favourite too. So in the both teams to score, who is ever favourite will be the one that's backed. If no's favourite, then it'll back no. If yes is favourite, then it'll back yes. Okay, and also in the under and over market, we have added the favourite as well. So you can bet under or over or the favourite, whichever the shortest price, then that will be the bet. Okay, so those are the ones that we've added into the market to bet. Another thing we've added in here is no other market. Before, we've noticed that bets were being missed because we had the minimum matched odds up there, and then we would have picked another market here and had like 1 or something next to it. Well, some matches wouldn't have had those markets in it, so therefore when the even though it met the matched odds amount, because you had a secondary market there, the bet wasn't being accepted because there was no secondary market to choose from. So if we put in no other market, the game will only have to match whatever minimum amount matched here. And just when I'm talking about the minimum matched here, this is in your currency on your Betfair account, and mine's in Australian, and some people said, well, we didn't get that bet, etc. Because I had 5,000 Australian dollars there, obviously that is a lot less than 5,000 euro or 5,000 pounds. So we're going to set the minimum when we're testing and trialing things now. We are going to use 7,500, which is 5,000 euro and about 3,600 pounds. So that's what we're going to use, so it's consistent right through. The rest of the setup down here is as we had before. Now the other thing that we've added, we talked about, is show market. Now if you just look at the API request at the moment, it's very low, it's like half, a 0.5. If we go to show market and we click on, say, this game here, we can see that the API request increases, and if we go to a game down here, it will increase again. Now it's up to 2. If we change the market to matched odds, it will jump up again now. Okay, so if we go, so what, by having the market shown, if we untick that, it will cut down the API request that you see up here. Okay, so we just have that. And if the market shows there or not, it doesn't make any difference. The bot is still betting whether the market's been shown or not. Okay, so just get rid of that now, and the API request comes down. What else did we need to show you? Just have a look. Okay, the other thing is, just quickly, it's in the manual, but just down the bottom, when you first load up, you'll see here interactive. Only the people in Denmark need to use this tab, because this will take them to a special login that they need to do before they can log into Betfair. So that interactive button there is only for our Danish Betfair clients. Okay. So that's about it. I'll just bring up the bot again. That's about it. That's the new improvements. And how do you know you got the new one? Well, at the moment it's 1.47, and obviously as we do some other upgrades that will increase. Okay, so thanks for watching that, and we hope you like the improvements. We've got some other bots that we're working on now, so we're not going to be doing any more improvements on here unless there's something that comes up that's very obvious that needs to be improved. But we'd still love to get your emails and on any other thoughts that you'd like to see added next time we do an upgrade of this, which a major upgrade won't happen until the end of the European season. Okay, so on behalf of Michael and the programmers and myself, Steve Davidson, thanks for watching this upgrade on the new Auto Profit Soccer. Thank you.